The purpose of the program is to prepare international teaching assistants for the American classroom.
I was an international student myself, and I was an international TA myself. So I can relate to my students and the experiences they've had as international teaching assistants and just being international students.
And I first came to the ITA program simply because I couldn't get the 50 points from the speak test.
Now, by state law, all international teaching assistants have to show competency in spoken English if they're going to teach classes here in the state of Florida. And that's what the ITA program does. We assess their spoken English, and then we provide training, credit-bearing classes for spoken English, advanced spoken English pronunciation, and so on.
Some students come into Florida State University, they already have the spoken language ability so that they can go ahead and start teaching right away. Other students still need more practice with their English. But I would say that really any graduate student that comes in, any international graduate student could benefit from our classes because a lot of them know their subjects very well, but that doesn't mean they know how to teach.
It helps me to learn more about how to teach a course in a US class because that's quite different from what we did in China.
Our classes focus on teaching, on culture, and also language. So improving your language skills so your students can understand you, but also learning about the culture so that you can appropriately deal with situations in the classroom and know what to expect from American students when you work with them.
We give them practice in pronunciation. We have a specific class for that, but we also give them practice in how to deal with just the cultural expectations of the American classroom. What do professors expect? What do students expect? We look at very specific kinds of language situations and the language that you would use in those situations. And then we look at things like just the logistics of a classroom. How do you organize your presentations? How do you organize your time?
There are 4 assignments. In the first assignment, we have to develop our own syllabus and we have to present it to the class as if we are presenting it to a class of undergrads on the very first day of a course.
The next one is they do a lesson plan on a concept in their field. Then they teach a process in their field, and then the last one is that they have to do like a worksheet review as if they were reviewing for an exam in that class. And doing those presentations I think is really beneficial for the students because you know, you put their feet to the fire when you do those presentations. They feel pretty nervous, but it's as authentic a situation as we can make it, but it's also a really safe space for them to try things out instead of standing in front of a group of 40 or 50 undergraduates. You know, they can be in a group of their peers where they can get some feedback.
The best thing about this course is that all these presentations are recorded by our instructor.
One of the things that they fear is the video camera.
It was very painful process to see myself through the video because I saw a lot of mistakes when I speak English and my pose and my expressions look so awkward.
And we can watch it again and again before taking the next presentation so that we can know what we missed out and what others did well. And we can compare, and based on that we can improve in later courses.
But once we meet and talk about what they've done in the class and how they can improve and what they've said and how they could say it in a better way or more effective way, they really appreciate the value of having the video camera there.
The reflections through the videotaping was very helpful to me to correct my English and to have confidence.
We also have a pronunciation class. That class is, we don't really have a cut score for you to be in that class. It could be multi-level. Sometimes even people who already met the requirement would take the pronunciation classes. They still like to work on their English skills.
In the pronunciation class, we work with a software program. It's a cloud-based software program called Native Accent. And we've been kind of piloting this for about a year. We've been using this with our students. It's a software package where students do an assessment they basically kind of give a very long speech sample. They have lots of questions they have to answer. The computer gathers up all of this data and then creates an individualized lesson plan for each student. The students work on this for homework, but we also make time to go into the lab and to work on that in class because it's just helpful to have the instructor come around and give them some feedback. It can be a great way to add some drill time to pronunciation. It can be really useful to drill certain things, but not everybody needs to be drilled on the same things. So it's a way to individualize that. The computer never gets tired, never gets bored, and they can work on that outside of class as well. The other thing we do in the language lab is we record a lot of different things. So we'll have maybe sentences. They'll go into the language lab and they can record those, save it as an MP3 file, send it to me, and then I give them feedback. I'll listen to that and record feedback for them and send them the feedback that way. So it gives them a chance to listen to themselves and really become very aware of what they're doing with their pronunciation.
We also offer a writing class, but we do that in the spring semester only. And that class is open for any international grad students. We have TAs in that class, and we also have students who are just working on their degrees and would like to improve their writing skills.
We're turning this into not something the departments have to do really, but something they can take advantage of to develop their own teachers, their own teaching assistants, and at the end of the day give their own students a much better education.
I could feel the improvements in my English, and my friends and professors in my department could also feel the improvements in my English proficiency.
The ITA program not only benefits the international graduate students and their departments, but also Florida State University as a whole.